Let's start with the video and then you can take over.
Okay, thank you.
ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobby Seal-Kobiski, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
Okay, Sierra, you can start.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Thursday's workout. Today we are going to do some cardio and a little bit of core work to the best of your ability. In terms of equipment, we're not going to really use much equipment. I'm not going to use much of anything today. If you feel like you want to add some dumbbells for a little more intensity, feel free to do that. And then I believe in the core, I'm going to be holding like a water bottle, but feel free. You don't need anything if you don't want to. But otherwise, we'll get right into it. We're going to do a bit of a longer warm up to get in some mobility in the upper body, and then we'll jump right into some cardio. So to start, we're going to do some pec release. If you have some kind of implement that you use, I normally just use either my fingers or palm. And we're going to get into the pecs and just kind of doing a self massage here. Relaxing those shoulders. Yeah, and you can kind of get into other parts of that pec muscle. And then you can start working up towards the collarbone. Nice. And then from here, we're going to go up into the traps, so top of the shoulder. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a point, find what feels maybe tense, and then we're going to tip the ear to shoulder from the opposite, so in the opposite direction. And then we're going to come back to center, find either a new point or put more pressure into that point, and then tip away again. Yeah, we'll do two more. And last one. Nice. And then we'll switch to the other side. So getting into the pecs again. Remembering to relax that shoulder. Good. And then going up into just under the collarbone. Nice. Then we're going to go up into the trap again. So finding a point and then tipping that opposite ear to opposite shoulder away from that point, coming back to neutral and going again. Good. Reset. Maybe finding a new point. Good. We'll do 2 more here. And last one. Good. Okay, from here, we're going to bring both our arms to the sides, relax those shoulders, palms are facing each other. And then from here, we're going to raise those elbows up to shoulder height. Then we're going to rotate, opening everything up, and then pressing all the way up, and then coming back down. Rotating down towards the ground, and then bringing those elbows in. So rotate up, rotate palms towards me, and then press. Good. So really thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades right now together. And going nice and slow, just opening everything up. And we'll do one more. Good. Nice. Next one we're going to do is we're going to bring the arm parallel. Palm is facing to the ground, and then we're going to rotate that elbow just so we're getting that external rotation in the shoulder. So just warming up that joint. And again, thinking about keeping that elbow at shoulder height. Good, and then we're going to switch sides. Seeing how much range of motion we got here. Nice. Good, and we'll rest there. We're going to go just into some shoulder rolls. So making nice big circles with those shoulders, bringing them all the way up towards the ears and then all the way down. So seeing how much you can exaggerate the size of those circles. Nice. And then we're going to go into the neck. So looking up and then looking down, tucking the chin in as we come down. Okay, nice and slow. Seeing how low you can get that head down. And then all the way up. Good, and then we're going to look left and right. Seeing how far you can look over that shoulder. Good, and going into reaching over into some lateral flexion. So you can choose here how much you want to reach. I'm trying to get that arm over the head, keeping everything kind of over that ear opened up, seeing if you can reach a little further. Good, then we're going to drop that arm in front, and we're going to rotate all the way to the opposite side, looking to the right, over that shoulder, and then coming back to neutral and switching sides, reaching as far as we can. Good, trying to reach a little further now. And we're going to drop that arm in front and rotate over that shoulder. Good. We're going to do one more on each side. Taking a big inhale. Exhale as you reach. And then dropping that arm and rotating. Good. And one more on the other side. Dropping that arm, slowly rotating, looking over that shoulder. Good, and coming back to center. From here, we're gonna bring right arm out to the side. You're gonna rotate to tap to your left. And then switch left arm to right shoulder. Just bringing that arm all the way over, and if you have a little bit of that rotation, feel free to rotate into it. Good. We're going to do one more on each side. Nice. And from here, we're going to go into a hip hinge. So you can either have hands on your lap, balancing you forward. You can keep your hands on your hips, just hinging forward. Keeping that back nice and straight. Chest is up. And if you do have a little more hinge going on, you can keep those arms just to the sides. Good, making sure that back stays straight. Nice and flat. Good, we're opening up those hips. Nice. And then from here, we're going to go into some hip circles, so some hula hoops. So trying to create some big circles with those hips, utilizing your arms if you need help. So going nice and big in one direction. And we're going to switch directions now into the others. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into some cat-cows. So we're going to push and lift that chest up. We're going to look up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to tuck the chin in, bringing belly button in towards the spine, pushing away. Good. Going back up, lifting that chest, trying to create that opposite direction in the spine. Looking up. And switching directions again, tucking that chin in. Good, we'll do one more in each direction, lifting that chest. And tucking the chin in. Okay, and then coming back to center, we're going to get into a little more movement now. So just starting with our flexion and extension, bringing one arm up, one arm back. And then you're going to go into the opposite arm, switching directions. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring arms out to the side and then out front. So for some, you might have to bend those elbows or do one arm at a time. Whatever feels good. So opening up that chest. And then we're going to go into a diagonal. So one arm's going up, one arm's going down towards the hip. Good. And then switching directions. Opening up that chest again. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna bring one arm in front and we're just trying to imagine someone's pulling that wrist. And then we're gonna pull back into the socket. So nice small movements here and pulling into the socket. So thinking about someone pulling that wrist away from you and then pushing back into the socket. So nice subtle movement here. Good, and then we're gonna switch sides. I'm gonna switch angles so you can see a little more movement. So arm out front. And then letting that wrist get pulled and then back. Good, one more. And we'll rest there. And last one we're gonna do is stir the pot. So bringing our right arm, we're just gonna draw circles with the wrist. Down low, letting that shoulder be nice and loose, imagining like there's a weight attached to that arm. We're just drawing nice circles. And then you can switch directions of that circle. Good, and then we're gonna switch sides. So starting in one direction, staying nice and loose. And switching directions. Good. Okay. We are going to grab some water if you need, and then we're going to get into some cardio. If you wanted a bit of a challenge, like I said, you feel free to grab dumbbells for some of these. I'm not going to use any equipment today, so that's up to you. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'll kind of talk through each one for the first round so you know what's happening. But we're going to do 30 seconds of each movement, and we're going to do 5 rounds of this. Once we get through, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 8 exercises, we're going to take a minute break and then get into it again. So the first exercise, like I said, I'll talk through each one as we go, is ropes. So you're going to imagine like we have battle ropes. So for anyone who's ever been in a gym and sees those big, long, heavy ropes, you're going to imagine like you're holding them. If you have dumbbells, this is where you'll hold them. And you're going to bring those arms up and then back down, imagining like you're bringing those ropes all the way down. And once you get that motion, you're going to add some speed. I'm going to have to add brakes before I roll away. But we're going to do 30 seconds of that and get right into it. So let's get into it. First movement, staying kind of nice and loose, just getting used to it. We do have 5 rounds, so we can definitely add speed as we go. Good. So what's going to be important here is thinking about how much force you can throw down towards the ground to get more of that workout. Good. Next one we're going to do is some ball throws. So you're going to bring arms up overhead and then throw that ball down towards the right hip, bring that ball back up and then back down. If you have dumbbells, feel free to hold one dumbbell. If you have an actual ball, feel free to throw that. Otherwise, getting those arms up, throwing those arms down. Nice. And then we're going to go into some rows. So we're just bringing arms out in front and then pulling back. Good. And here, thinking about squeezing those shoulders. And we're going to be adding a lot of speed here. Good. Next one we're going to do is some swimmers. So we're going to push that water away and then come back, hands together. So opening everything up and then back together. Nice. Forgot to mention too, if you want music in the background, feel free to turn on some of your music. You're not just listening to my voice. Okay, and then next one we're going to do is some kayak. So we're doing that kayak motion. Again, if you had a dowel, you could add that or your dumbbells, but you don't need any equipment for this. Good, so imagining that handle. Next one we're going to do are adapted seated burpees. Feel free to do actual burpees if that feels good. But what we're going to do is we're going to reach up and then I'm going to slowly lower down to reach down. But feel free to reach up and then reach down. You can add 3 steps, so hinging and then reaching down, reaching up, hinging and reaching down. So feel free to modify as you need. Or reaching up and then reaching down. Good. Okay, and then next one we're going to do is some jabs. So jabbing up front. If you're a boxer and want to add in some combos, feel free to do that. We're going to keep it simple today with just some jabs. We've got only 30 seconds. Then the last one we're going to do is jump ropes. This is great with dumbbells or if you have your split ropes. Some people have split ropes, but we're going to imagine like we have those and we're going to go into some jump ropes. You can add bigger circles or do nice little ones. You can add arms out a little wider. Feel free to play around with what that feels like. Good. And then you get a minute rest after this. So in this minute rest, feel free to stretch around, grab some water, or you can go into an active rest and just continue to be moving. It's up to you and rest here. So grab some water if you need. If you want to stay active rest, feel free to do some boxing or some kayaks or wheel around. It's up to you. And for those who want to rest, definitely rest. So we're going to go through that 4 more times. And we have 30 seconds left here. Good. 15 seconds. We're going right into our rope slams. So if you're using dumbbells, grab those now. Okay, and right into our rope slam. So bringing those arms up, throwing them down. Nice. Good. If you're working on some balance, feel free to start thinking about how to stay nice and stable while those arms get thrown. Yep, good. And switching into ball throw, so arms all the way up and then throwing down to that hip. Obviously, it'll be harder the more force you bring down, the faster you throw those arms down. Getting those arms as high as you can definitely increases that heart rate. Get 10 seconds. So challenging ourselves here. Each interval is only 30 seconds, so feel free to add a bunch of speed. And we're going into rows. Arms forward and then pulling back. Good, 20 seconds. Nice. We are going to be switching into swimming. I'm going to show a different way. So we can do our front stroke here if you want this time. So opening everything up. And then if that feels good, you can add both arms at the same time, adding a bit of rotation, and then you can add some speed. Nice. 10 seconds. Good, and into kayaks. So thinking about we're holding that handle and we're rotating. Good, 15 seconds. Add some speed. And probably the most challenging one for me is our burpees. And we're switching into our burpees. So reaching all the way up and then reaching down. That reach down can look whatever feels good to you. Good. Focusing on that hinge if you're going all the way to the ground, keeping that spine as flat as you can. You got 10 seconds. Nice. 5 seconds. Remembering to breathe. Good. And switching into boxing. So right into our jabs. And add some speed. We got 20 seconds left. And we have one more and we'll rest. 10 seconds. Going right into our jump ropes. Good, and jump ropes. So nice and big. Feel free to switch directions if you want to change it up. Keep on moving. 15 seconds. Five seconds. And we are resting. Okay. Grab some water if you need. Continue with that active rest if that feels good. Okay. Okay, we have 20 seconds. And we're gonna go into our ropes again. So grabbing the equipment if you're using any, and right into ropes. This time, thinking about how can I add more speed? Yeah. How can I stay nice and stable? 15 seconds. So thinking about you have that flick up and then that flick down with that rope. So both ways are heavy, good, and going into ball throws. Getting those arms up as high as you can. Good. Good. Remember to breathe as we go right into our rows, squeezing those shoulder blades. Thanks. $15 seconds. Add some speed. Good. Good. And going into swimmers. I'm going to be out here pushing, bringing those arms back, opening that whole chest. Good. 10 seconds. Good. And kayaks. Adding that rotation if that feels good. Good. 15 seconds. Find some more speed. Okay, switching into burpees. So reaching up and reaching down. Maybe work here and then reaching down. Good. Good. 10 seconds. Good. And switching into boxing. Remembering to breathe, staying nice and stable. Shoulder blades down. Good. Add some speed. 10 seconds here. Nice. And into jump ropes. Halfway. All the way through. Then we get a rest. 10 seconds. Good. And rest. Nice work. Okay, grab some water if you haven't already. Okay, we got 20 seconds left. Okay, we're gonna go right into our ropes. And let's go. Good, add some speed. This is our second last round. Ten seconds. Good, and into ball throws. Getting those arms up. Adding that force down towards the hip. Nice. 10 seconds. Breathing here and into rows. Get halfway. Good, and swimmers. Get ready to breathe. See how big you can get those arms open. Halfway. Nice, 5 seconds. And into kayaks. See how big that motion can be. Add some rotation if you can. Yeah, getting that whole body movement. Good, and switching to burpees. Reaching up and down. Halfway. Thanks. And into boxing. Good, add some force into this. Think you're actually punching something. Good. Halfway. You got one more. So fast out, fast in. Good. And jump ropes. Twenty seconds. Five seconds. Good, and rest. All right. So 1 minute here. Then we're going to get into some core work. Get halfway through rest. So this is going to be our last round. Thinking about how we can get the most out of this last round. We got 10 seconds. Okay. Going right into our last ropes. Getting those arms up and all the way down. Good, ball throws. Crossing over that body, over to the other hip. Nice. 15 seconds. Finishing strong. Good, and rows. Halfway. Remembering to breathe, finding that speed. Squeezing those shoulder blades back. Good, and swimmers, feel free to switch up which one you do. "15 seconds. All out each one. Good, and kayaks. Adding as much of that body as you can. Halfway. Good, and burpees. "15 seconds. Good, and boxing. Last 2. Find that speed. Halfway. Notice that breath. Staying in control of it. Good, 5 seconds all the way through. And jump ropes. "15 seconds. And we're resting. Okay, we're gonna go right into a hold. So we're gonna bring arms at 90 degrees, elbows at shoulder height, and we're just gonna hold here for 30 seconds. Good. Stay nice and stable. Halfway. Good, and we're resting. I'm gonna grab a water bottle here. And we're gonna go into a couple core exercises. You don't necessarily need any equipment, but just so you can kind of see the movement, I feel like it's easier this way. So we're gonna do a Russian twist. So twisting from right to left and seeing just how much twist you can get. If you have some kind of implement you want to hold, feel free to do that. We're gonna go for 30 seconds. Okay, and go. So rotating as far as you can and following that implement or your hands with those eyes. 15 seconds. Trying to get that belly button rotated as far as you can, even if it's not a lot. Good, and we're gonna go right into paint shakers. So we're gonna hold the implement or our hands and we're gonna shake out in front and bring that in as fast as we can. The further out, the harder you're gonna have. Good. So add some speed. Staying nice and stable. Try not to throw the body, just letting the arms get thrown. Good, and we're going right into side bends. So it's gonna look different for different people. For one, you can have just the hand on the hip and bend over. You can add hand to the head as you tip. For some, it might just be reaching and then coming back up. If you want a bit of a challenge, you can do your T-tip, bringing both arms up and then tipping, trying to keep everything nice and stable. So whatever you want to do, we're going to go for 30 seconds on each side. And we're going. So stick to one side and then we'll go to the other. Finding what's challenging but doable. Good. Thinking about how you can get everything back up, pulling from that other side. Nice. And switching sides. Good. We got 5 seconds. Good. And we are resting. We're going to rest for about 30 seconds here, and we're going to do that all one more time. "15 seconds. Okay, so starting with our Russian twist. And let's go. So rotating, trying to bring that belly button to each side as far as we can, following that implement or hands halfway. Good, and going into paint shakers. So everything stays stable. Arms are the only thing moving. Good, halfway. Add some speed. And switching into side bends, starting with one side and then the other. Nice. "10 seconds. Good, and switching sides. Nice work. 5 seconds. Nice. And we're resting. All right. Grab some water if you need. We're going to go into some stretching. So to start, we're going to tuck the chin in and bring nose to right armpit. We're going to relax those shoulders. We're going to switch to the other side. Remember to relax that shoulder. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into the pecs. So if you have a wall or some kind of post, feel free to use that where you're bringing that arm out to the side and stretching out. You can also just open up that chest wherever you are. The other option is to find something within that pec that's stiff. Press on that pec and then open up that chest. Good. And then come back to center and open up again. And we'll switch sides. Good. And then we're going to go into a twist. So we're going to twist to the right side, look over that right shoulder. And switching to the other side. Looking over that other shoulder, lifting that chest. Good. And then the last one we're going to do is we're just going to tuck the chin in and roll down through the spine. So for some, that might just be rolling a little bit. For others, that might be rolling all the way to the ground. Roll as far forward. Once you get to that bottom piece, you're going to stay there and take 2 big inhales. Exhaling all the way to the ground, expanding the ribs in the back every time you inhale. And then you're going to slowly roll up, lift that chest. We're going to look towards the ceiling. Let those arms come to the sides. Open everything up one last time here. Couple big breaths here. And exhale, coming back to center. Okay, nice work, everyone. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope to see you all next week. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. This was great.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.